We just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob, and this video, we're going to review the second episode of the show on Fox, Gotham. Very, very good episode. Like the follow-up. If you saw my review last week, I did mention that I felt Selina Kyle would play a role in discovering who murdered the Waynes. And as we saw at the end of the show, that was confirmed. So, but let's take it from the top. So we open up with Bruce Wayne pretty much putting his hand over a flame, just enough to burn himself, and obviously going through a lot right now, trying to handle what happened with his parents, and at the same time, trying to test himself to some extent. It's funny because knowing who the character is, you wonder, you can't help but, like, if you saw this happen to a normal kid, like, who's not supposed to end up being Batman, you would say that, yeah, he's going through a troubling time right now. And these are some of the weird side effects of maybe something traumatic happening to them. Where in this case, you look at it as like, all right, is this like a early stages of Batman preparation? Or, but honestly, I think, and that crossed my mind for a minute. And then after that, I was like, nah, this is just a kid going through some shit right now. I don't think there's even any hint of Batman there. Because I think some viewers might start to think that when they see Bruce Wayne doing things like this and testing himself or saying things like that, they might take it as, oh, well, he's starting off, this is the whole Batman thing. No, I think he's a kid struggling with what happened with his parents, and this is some of the ways that he's dealing with it. As odd as it may seem, I'm more than sure that any other child who has lost their parents in a traumatic fashion have done worse. So, but yeah, very dramatic scene. The interaction between him and Alfred is so different than what we're used to, and I like it. It shows Alfred in a more like passionate about the young Bruce Wayne, like very protective of him, very fatherly. And not that you never got that from like some of the movies, but the interaction is very, very father-son-like. And I like seeing it from that perspective. We got hints of some of that kind of stuff in the movies, but seeing it now in the show, seeing them interact and seeing Alfred struggle with trying to raise Bruce the right way, and Bruce being very rebellious because of what's happened to him. I like that. I think it goes for a lot of good drama. So that was the opening scene. Then, we take it to Bullock and Gordon, and these two, very, very interesting group of cops. And, it's so funny because they seem to work well together through their adversity. I mean, it's almost like, yeah, they're on different playing fields completely. Bullock is corrupted. Gordon has been playing corrupted, but he's a straight arrow. But yet, when push comes to shove, they seem to work so well together. They obviously have different views. They have different approaches to how to do their job. But the end result always, so far, seems to be very good. Now, it was very nice to see Lily Taylor make a cameo in this show, and I'm pretty sure we'll see her again. I'm hoping we'll see her again. But yeah, it was very nice to see her make a cameo. For some of you who might have been around when I was doing the Almost Human reviews before I got canceled, I really like her as an actress, and she did great in this episode. She was great as a cameo, so I enjoyed seeing her. And the storyline was pretty, I kind of want to know where these kids were gonna go. I saw the Trident Company. Maybe there's something there I missed, but I thought that the whole idea of the kidnappings was pretty. We've seen that before, so it's nothing major, nothing groundbreaking. But I think what they put behind it is what matters more. And what they did was they brought Selina Kyle out to light. They brought out Catwoman. And I think she, as I said, she was going to play a role in finding out who the Wayne killers were, or the Wayne killer was. And now we see that that's really what that story went through. That's kind of what they were aiming for. Like, there was the story of the kids being kidnapped, but really the goal in that storyline was to get to Selina Kyle. And it was okay. It was fine. They could have probably done it differently, but because her age, and now I knowing that she's 13, I'm a little surprised. She looked a little bit older, but then at certain angles, I'm like, yeah, she could be 13. And so she plays right into that storyline. So it kind of understand why they went that route. Little bit going off course, like in terms of, like, we got Cobblepot at the very early of the show. Then we didn't get him at all for a good portion of it, and then we get him at the end. So, I don't want them to feel like they got to force everything in there. They could have just as easily focused this whole episode with, the storyline with the kids and Selina Kyle without having to throw Cobblepot in there. I would have been more than happy to wait for next week to see what's going on with Cobblepot and get maybe a little bit more on him. And I'm not saying it did a detriment to the show, but it kind of like it started off so cool. You know, he's walking down the street. He's, you know, he gets picked up by these two guys who are basically goofing on him, and he's taking it until they call him the Penguin, and he lashes out. Seems to kill one, and then as we find out at the end, he holds the other one captive. But after that scene, after he rents the trailer and all that stuff, and you know, we just don't see him for such a long period of time. So it's almost like, you know, to me, it felt like we have to put Cobblepot in there for this episode, when I don't think they did. I think what they had going with Selina Kyle, Gordon and Bullock, and even the Jada Pinkett, Falcone, and I'm going to say Falcone because I think that's how it's pronounced. Falcone, I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the movie was wrong, but Falcone is what I'm swallowing him. You know, I think between Gordon and Bullock's investigation, Selina Kyle, and then the little conflict between Falcone and Fish, that would have been more than sufficient. I would have rather them, you know, extend that a little bit and go a little bit more into detail with that than feeling like they had to force in Cobblepot. But that's just me. And it's not that Cobblepot scenes weren't good. They were great. So much so that I wanted to see more, but we didn't. But it looks like maybe we'll get to see more next week. So speaking of Fish and Falcone, so this was my favorite scene of the whole episode. It really was. Because Falcone comes into the club and, you know, he's being all nice and, hey, you know, wine, and let's toast. And everything seems fine. He confronts her about what she said. She denies it. He knows, and he knows she's full of shit. He knows. He's not stupid. He's been around. But he plays dumb until the very end when he's like, oh, so who's your lover? And that scene right there for me was great. And I loved Jada Pinkett's reaction. Her reaction was fantastic because when he's touching her hand, you see her looking past his shoulders at the man getting beat up, which is obviously somebody she has a care for, because you can see the anger, you can see the hurt, you can even see the fear, you know, and she's fighting back these tears. Her eyes are watery. They're even getting red and bloodshot. And man, I gotta say, it's hard to do something. I can imagine how hard it is to do something like that for a scene, you know, and it looks so freaking real. And she looks so pissed. And I felt that, man. I'm like, damn, I'm loving Jada Pinkett in the early going on the show. I got to be honest. Right now, she is the one for me personally, that's stealing the show. The few scenes that she is in, man, she comes to life. And then after Falcone leaves, she kicks everyone out the club and she's raging, and it's just a great scene. So, you know, overall, I like this episode. You know, again, I felt the Cobblepot stuff was forced. I loved Jada Pinkett's scene. I thought that was the scene of the show. Bullock and Gordon are a very interesting duo. I gotta say, I'm really liking that combination, because at the end, they both get the job done and they both do a kick-ass job. But in between all that, they conflict, they argue. You know, one is corrupted, one is not, but he's pretending to be. And I like that. It really brings for a lot of conflict. It makes investigations more complex. It's just a really, really good, so far I'm really liking how that works. And I think the two actors have great chemistry working together on screen. And so far, the few little bit that I've seen of Alfred, I like so far. I like how that's going. I love the fact that they're not forcing too much Bruce Wayne. They give you a little bit of drop of him, so far in the first two episodes. So that's pretty cool. And, you know, Selina Kyle, you know, to me in the first episode, there was no point in her being there, but I think the reason they kept her there, that last week what I said, was basically, to tell the crowd, look, she's going to play a role in finding out who killed the Waynes. And, that came to light on this episode. So, overall, I thought it was a great episode. I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying the show so far. I'm really loving Jada Pinkett. I really like the Bullock and Gordon's chemistry on screen and their conflicting investigative skills and how it all works out in the end. Because you know that there's going to come a point where it's not going to work out that way. And I'm definitely interested in seeing Cobblepot. I wish I could have seen him more this week. Not that I didn't like the story. I just felt like he was a little bit forced. Edward Nygma's cameo once again was pretty cool. It was a good episode. I'm enjoying the first two episodes. I think it's a good show. I think it's got good potential. So, but anyway, guys, that's it. So what did you think about the second episode? I thought it was pretty good. And how do you feel about the early going of the show so far? I think it's got good potential. And we'll see where it goes. Anyway, guys, that's it for this review. This is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit ETN's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description. You're watching ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob, and this video, we're going to review the second episode of the show on Fox, Gotham. Very, very good episode. I'd like the follow-up. If you saw my review last week, I did mention that I felt Selina Kyle would play a role in discovering who murdered the Waynes. And as we saw at the end of the show, that was confirmed. So, but let's take it from the top. So we open up with Bruce Wayne pretty much putting his hand over a flame, just enough to burn himself, and obviously going through a lot right now, trying to handle what happened with his parents, and at the same time, trying to test himself to some extent. It's funny because knowing who the character is, you wonder, you can't help but, like, if you saw this happen to a normal kid, like, who's not supposed to end up being Batman, you would say that, yeah, he's going through a troubling time right now, and these are some of the weird side effects of maybe something traumatic happening to them. Where in this case, you look at it and it's like, all right, is this like a early stages of Batman preparation? Or, but honestly, I think, and that crossed my mind for a minute. And then after that, I was like, nah, this is just a kid going through some shit right now. I don't think there's even any hint of Batman there. Because I think some